Good day, everybody. We all have made mistakes in life, but do you often wonder how somebody else has handled their mistakes, especially when it can put your reputation at risk? Well, you're going to hear a great perspective on this particular topic on today's edition of Minutes with Brett Live on the Packard Network. And I'm pleased to welcome a very special guest from Tokyo, Japan, live, Mr. Takatashi Imada. And Imada-san has nearly 3 decades of experience at multinational corporations in Japan. And he's currently the business manager at MetLife in Japan. And he has an MBA from the Kellogg Graduate School of Management at Northwestern University in North America. And he also has a Bachelor of Arts degree in business administration from Sophia University in Tokyo. So his credentials are fantastic. I've known Imada-san now for a couple of decades, and you're really going to enjoy hearing his perspective on different topics that we'll talk about today. So Imada-san, welcome to the Packard Network and Minutes with Brett Live. It's great to have you here.
Oh, thank you very much, Preston. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm so honored to be in this.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And I guess one of the things on the top of everybody's mind this week is that tomorrow is the start of the Summer Olympics in Japan that was delayed by COVID and challenges not just with the Olympics but with all of us in our everyday lives. COVID has certainly impacted that, but nevertheless, we're slated to go live. You must be very proud that Japan was selected to host the Olympics.
Yes, I am, and we are very honored. We are very proud that the Tokyo. This is the second time we host the Olympics in Japan and Tokyo, and especially this time, it's it was after the 1 year delay, and nobody experienced any pandemic like this, and it's like we are, with this Olympic, we're gonna show to the world that we can have the Olympics and athletes and do their best in here, peace free. And I think we are so proud that we are hosting this Olympics event despite this difficult, challenging environment. And we'll see how it goes. But I think we're gonna cheer up the athletes. I think I just hope that wish them best of luck. We'll see how it goes, and I'm very excited. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Such a prestigious event in such a prestigious country, and I'm very proud of all of you for being selected to host this as well. So can't wait to watch the competition. So that's great. Imada-san, why don't we'll open this up and maybe you can take just about a 2-minute, take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and maybe talk about your adult life, what you've, maybe you could start with why you decided to go to North America for your MBA. And, Sophia University is an extremely prestigious university in Japan. And that's great. Why go to North America to continue your education? Then maybe you could talk about how your career went, how you started your career and wound up where you are today.
Okay. Thank you, Brett. So the reason why I decided to go to North America is basically kind of 2 reasons I have. And one is that back in 1986, so it was like 35 years ago, I had a chance to do the homestay in the suburb of California near Los Angeles, and I had 2 host families, and I stayed there for about 3 weeks, and that was a part of a kind of English education in the kind of school program, and I had a chance to live with the real American families in there, and then I just loved the the way they treated me, and also I loved the it's like every day was a new day for me then. It's a crisp California sky, and I enjoyed playing with the kids, and they are still my friends. So I've been in touch with them for over 35 years. It's hard to believe, but
Mm.
they're still my friends. I mean, via Facebook, and sometimes we exchange emails, and so that's one thing. And really, so that happened. 1986. That's when I was high school student, first year, 16 years old. And so I kind of made up my mind that at one point, when I have a chance, I would like to go back to the US to study again. And that was kind of sort of motivation I had. And then second reason is that before MBA at Kellogg, I had been working for a company called Ajinomoto General Foods. It's a 50-50 joint venture between Ajinomoto, Japanese food giant, and Kraft Foods International, which was owned by Philip Morris International then.
Mm.
And I had a chance to work for our very senior person because of my English. I mean, it was a 50-50 joint venture, but actually only one expat and 700 Japanese local employees. And this one expat had a struggle in communicating his thoughts to the Japanese employees. And I was doing the sales for 2 years, and I got transferred to take the FP&A, financial planning analyst position. And then I started working for the headquarters. And then at one time, one chance, when I think I had a chance to speak with him in the elevator, and then he realized, oh, there's one guy who speaks good English. And then he kind of uh, he took a chance on me, and I had started working very closely with him. And then he advised me at one point. He made it to a kind of senior, very senior position, number 2 position in Japan, that 50-50 joint venture, at the age of
Mm.
39 or so, very young. And
Mm.
then I asked him, I mean, if there's a, if I want to, be a senior manager like him, he is. What advice do you give me? And that was a question I asked him. He said that maybe the best way is to go get the MBA from the school, especially in the
Mm.
North America,
Mm.
not in the North America, maybe in London, but really he's a German guy raised in Canada, so he's very familiar with European culture and North American culture. But he recommended me to go to the one in the North America, and
Mm.
also he wrote me a very good letter of recommendation. I think that was the reason why I got accepted by Kellogg. And so these are two main reasons why I decided to go to
Mm.
study in
So that at that point in your life, Imada-san, that was somewhat of a let's call it a moment, right? An important
Yeah,
moment in an elevator
right.
that
Sure.
helped to set your destiny. You never know when these things are going to happen, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, please continue. So you went to Kellogg.
Yep, I went to Kellogg, and
Mhm.
so 2 years from 98 to 2000, and I majored in finance, strategy, and marketing. And right after Kellogg, the first job I took was the one with Citibank Japan, deputy head of the sales planning and sales and distribution in retail banking. And I never thought that I would be a banker at all. But the reason why I decided to join Citibank Japan is that in those days, Citibank was the only one that was really uh, doing the retail banking in Japan market. Japan, well, today it's ranked number 3, US, China, and Japan. But in those days, Japanese consumers' financial assets, Japan is number 2, and the second biggest market. But actually, Japanese customers were very hesitant to invest. I mean, really, they just had the yen saving, and they didn't take a risk to invest in any, like a foreign exchange products or mutual funds. In those days were like that. But the Citibank Japan was the only one that was trying to pioneer this market. And then I decided to take a chance on it. And I joined Citibank Japan in September 2000 as a deputy head of the sales planning and sales and distribution. And then I stayed in Citibank for 17 years, 9 years in retail banking and 8 years in corporate banking. And function-wise, 6 years in sales and also mutual funds, product, consumer investments, and 11 years in finance. And I regard myself as kind of finance professional. That's the reason. And actually, that's when I had a chance to work for Brett. I think that was from the about 4 years, I think, from early 2001 to the end of 2004ish. When you were double-headed to lead the consumer investments and sales and distribution. And I think I'm going to come to this later, but I mean, we grew the business like to like a rocket. I mean, we achieved double-digit growth, and we really, we are the ones that penetrated. We are the ones that the mutual funds penetrated mutual funds market for the Japanese consumers. That's I'm very proud of.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Good.
And
so after Citi.
Yep. After Citi, I was I resigned from Citi and then took another opportunity at the small company called Imperial Brands Japan, which is a subsidiary of the fourth largest tobacco company. And I don't smoke, but the reason why I decided to take this opportunity was one thing I wanted to do was I want to be the CFO, and in Citi, I made it to like a number 2 position in the finance. I'm the head of retail banking finance, and head of corporate banking finance, but I never made it to the head of Citibank finance. Mm-hmm. And then so when I resigned, the reason why I decided to resign Citi and then decide to take this new opportunity was this company offered me the CFO job, and also they were about to launch a new product. There was electric vapor, and it's a non-nicotine, non-tar. It's not a cigarette at all, and this is a first market entrant and the electric vapor was not launched by anyone in Japan market. So I decided to take a chance on it, and I wanted to be a part of this new product launch. At the same time, I want to be a CFO. So I enjoyed what I did at the Imperial Brands Japan, but however, I think I left this company in 18 months. The reason is that my mother-in-law became very weak after she lost her husband at the end of 2018. And so my wife supported her mother, and then she became really exhausted, and then I decided to become the kind of house husband, and raising kids for it's like taking care of my kid. I am a father of 3 daughters and decided to take care of the 3 daughters while my wife takes care of her mother. So this kind of house husband period lasted about 6 months, and then after that, so after she found the kind of nursery house for her mother, I decided to look for a job opportunity again. And then it's like supporting, supporting my wife and who supports her mother, who became very weak. I kind of thought about it and it's like, well, what do I want to do next? I mean, it's like function-wise, I chose to be a CFO when I became the CFO of the Imperial Brands Japan. But this time, I asked myself, it's like maybe should I prioritize industry or function? And then this time I decided to choose the prioritize industry, meaning that this time I wanted to work for a company that is somehow involved in the health of the people, and then so pharmaceutical, medical, or life insurance sort of. And then so I came up with this opportunity at MetLife Japan, and because they look for a new position in the end of 2019, and so I took several interviews and decided that maybe this company has the best fit. I mean, I was in exactly the same time I also received an offer to become a CFO of some other company, which was bigger. I feel the which was bigger than Imperial Tobacco, but much smaller than MetLife Japan. But I mean, probably the salary was slightly higher there, but I decided to work for a company that is in the industry which kind of contributes to the health and the life of people. And so decided to take a job offer from MetLife. And so today I am a business manager of MetLife Japan. I've been working for this company for about 20 months since December 2019. And I'm a business manager of an organization called Customer Value Multi. And the Customer Value Multi, as the name goes, it's kind of complex organization which consists of products, marketing, strategy, project management, and new business development. And if you ask me what is the role of business manager, basically it's a chief of staff or CAO or COO sort of job. And my primary responsibility is to make my boss life easier as his right hand man. So I'm a facilitator, coordinator, and my biggest value added in here is that the really closing the gap of my boss, who is an American senior management, and his direct reports are all of them, including myself, are Japanese, and really, but so far so good. I've been enjoying what I do.
That's great. That's fantastic. So, what an impressive nearly 3 decades, I guess, is when you add it all up, and I think that's thank you for walking us through your career journey. Really appreciate that. And it might have just a question that just came to mind as you were talking about your days with Citi and investing and saving and all that. Why, this is a general question, why do Japanese save so much? It's so different and actually so much higher. Japan is an incredibly wealthy country. What roughly 120 million people, something like that, right?
Yeah.
About right? But why could you just talk in for the audience, many of which have not been to Japan, why do Japanese save so much money?
Thank you. I mean, from my perspective, I think we are very conservative, and also it's like invest in stocks or mutual funds or bonds. I mean, it's not, it's going to come back to you. I mean, if you take a risk. However, it's like people in the old days, I mean, in my dad's age, I mean, they thought that money is what you have to earn yourself by working, not by investment. So it's like they don't like to invest their money, and they just really secure money in savings.
So earn it yourself, save it yourself instead of giving it to somebody else.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. That's a basic concept, and probably not a bad one for some of the countries that are watching this right now to embrace, right? Where you get on the other side of the spectrum and get into the debt situation. So it's a very interesting. Imada-san, let's shift a little bit and talk, if you could, a bit about the cultural differences between a foreign company operating in Japan and why it might be important to understand Japanese culture. Could you talk for a couple minutes about that, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, really, I mean, Bresson, if you remember, I mean, when you ask your branch managers, can you achieve this target? They always said yes. My point is that the Japanese culturally, Japanese tend to say yes to any questions. We are hesitant to say no, or we are hesitant to ask for support. And so it's like
why the hesitancy to say no?
Yeah, I mean, people think that, I think we want to be acknowledged by saying yes. I mean, I'm committed to you, sort of. It's like showing the commitment to your bosses. So I mean, it's not a bad thing. However, sometimes if you come for the American senior management, sometimes he lied to me, sort of impression they have, because he said he would, but he couldn't. I mean, really, this kind of hesitant to say no is an emotional thing. And so, I mean, once you kind of start to understand when they say yes all the time, sometimes it means no. I mean, you kind of, things get smoother. I mean, a friend of mine who used to be the classmate at Kellogg became the CFO of Nike Japan. And then he was, I love this country, but I mean, my people always say yes, but actually they can't finish what's going on. And then I told him that, well, there's a secret. I mean, it's really kind of emotional thing, but really one step back. I mean, when they say yes, but then ask them nicely again. I said, can you do it tomorrow? Yes, yeah, you said yes. But if I say, can you do it in a few days? It's gonna be better. If you ask the question that way, they will deliver it in a few days for sure. Yeah. So I mean,
it's a very interesting point, because to somebody outside of Japan, hearing you talk about this, they might think, wow, that's really strange. But actually, if you're in Japan looking at the foreigner who does not understand this, That's
Mm,
what's strange, right?
yeah, yep.
And so I think it's really, depending on the eyes, and it's important. What I hear you saying is that it's important to
Mm,
really understand the culture
yeah,
and how things really operate so that
mhm,
you can work together to
right.
achieve a
Yep,
satisfactory outcome.
yep, exactly.
Mm, yeah, good. Um, what's your biggest achievement, Amada-san, over the 30 years, would you say?
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for
It's your
asking.
chance to brag a little bit right now before we get into one more subject.
Okay. Well, the biggest achievement I had in my almost 30 years career is that probably are the double-digit growth we achieved together with the sales of mutual funds back in 2002 or 2003. Probably 2002. If I remember correctly, today's Nikkei stock average, Nikkei stock price is a little shy of 28,000 yen. In those days, post September 11th, Nikkei stock price went below 10,000 yen for the first time in a long time. And then 2002, it became 9,000 yen. And 2003, it became lower than 9,000 yen. It was a kind of downtrend. And then,
Mhm.
but at the same time, we had the kind of challenging revenue target in those days. And but at the same time, we all knew that at one point Japanese stock was going to recover anyhow somehow, and then also selling the products, kind of investment products in these days is not a bad thing for the customer from the long-term point of view. So we kind of firmly committed to our revenue target, and then what we can do together to achieve this target. I mean, so if you remember, I mean, I was attending kind of three important meetings in those days. One was the monthly branch manager meeting. Another one is City Gold Executive monthly meeting, which is the top sales meeting, monthly one. And another one, to me, most important one's the weekly Friday meeting together with the product consumer
Mm.
investment product side and the sales side. And then in that weekly meetings, we exchange our opinions, and then what we can do together. I mean, basically, we didn't have the new mutual funds product to be launched, and then but we still have to carry the very high revenue target. What should we do? But at the market's going down, people's sentiment is not, they don't want to buy the products. At the same time, we firmly believe that buying the mutual funds at this stage definitely they're going to benefit them in a few years. And then so what we did was we decided to introduce the two things. One is the simpler KPI, revenue targets, and then also for each one and every one of the sales reps, not just the branch managers, everyone and each of the sales reps, everyone carries their own sales goals. And also another thing is the introduction of new variable compensation. And then it's like for the architecting this the variable compensation, I exchanged the opinions of the investment managers and also branch managers sales. And then it's a product developed by everyone's efforts. But I mean, with the launch of the new sales compensation program, variable compensation program, and also with the simpler KPI, we achieved the very challenging revenue target. And in that year, we achieved a double-digit growth in that tough market. So that
Were
one
the
thing,
were the were the clients happy?
I think, I mean, at one point, I think in those days, they were kind of wondering why, I mean, it's in this market, but at the same time, I think they became very happy today. And also in those days, I mean, our sales reps are very good. And then also it's like they heard what, the fear or worries of their customers. And then I think they were very happy because our sales consultant spends did so much research and spent time and also explained fully about the product features. And then I think our sales reps were the best in the market. And I think
So did the clients, did they
yeah,
benefit, would you
yeah,
say, over
yeah,
the long term? So when you add all of this stuff up that you're talking about,
yeah,
did they benefit?
yeah, definitely they did. They did
Mhm.
benefit, and I think they were happy because we were the only ones that really promoted the kind of products to the clients. I mean, the other sales folks, I mean, they were kind of hesitant just because of market condition. I mean, but take a look. I mean, today it's very, to me, today it's very difficult to sell the product because the market. I mean, price is too high, honestly speaking. I mean, but it's like it's about the sentiment, but it's like a really, I think good thing about our sales reps was they heard. I mean, they really pay attention to what the customers really want. And so, I mean, after the
Mm.
one consultation, they saw the products. And so they were, I mean, eventually, I mean, consultants, I mean, customers are very happy because we spend tons of time for them because they were important. I mean,
Mhm.
we
Yep.
showed that, yeah, we showed them that they are very important to us. So I think even customers are very happy as well.
Well, that's fantastic. Ultimately, that's the that's the end state objective is to make
Right.
sure that over the long term you're taking care of customers, or they go away.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll go somewhere else. So I think that's terrific. Mata-san, we're just about out of time, so we've
Yep.
just got a couple minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about mistakes. We all make them. I make a lot of mistakes, and some people make them more frequently than others, and a lot of people make mistakes, and they can be serious. And they can even impact our reputation. And
Right.
so could you just share with
Yep.
your perspective on how to handle a situation where you make a mistake? It's clear that you've made the mistake, clear to you, clear to everybody else that you've made a mistake.
Right.
And what do you do to recover? And if you can try to, cover this point in about 1 minute, that'd be great.
Okay, let me share a story with you. I mean, back in '98, this happened day 5 of my preparation week before the class gets started at my MBA days, '98. There's one guy who I like him, and who self-nominated for some committee member to be a committee member, and then he hit a reply to all the classmates, and then I hit a reply to all to his email saying that I support you, man, because you are a man. I mean, instead of which I should have made it, you are the man. I tried to sound like a kind of American, say, hey, I like you, and that's the reason why I support you. But I mean, really, what I meant was I support you because he is the man, but by mistake I wrote as he is a man, and then
so you said I support you because you are a man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
some of the classmates reacted very badly, saying that this guy is a man of sexual discrimination and without my knowledge. And then one guy came to me, Ben, his name is Ben, that he's an American-born Chinese. And then I bumped into him. He told me that, your email could be controversial. What do you mean? And then I know that you wanted to say that you support him because he is the man, but just because, oh, really, what did I say? You wrote it as you support him because he is a man. And that means you don't support him if he's not he. Meaning that if it's a woman,
right,
support,
so what did you do? Yeah, because that could be incredibly offensive to a lot of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then what I did was, sometimes people just walk away and just wish that they could forget, but that they don't. So what I did was just hit a reply to all of them saying that I'm terribly sorry. This is purely a mistake of the non-native English speakers mistake. And I don't mean it. And I like this person. That's the reason why I support. But I mean, really, if you get offended, I'm terribly sorry. That's the one email I wrote. And then I came to know that there were some people who were particularly offended. To them, I apologize to them face to face. I mean, that's what I did. And then key takeaway from this is that we make mistakes, and if a silly or simple mistake can be controversial, could damage your reputation very badly. And when you make mistakes, just don't wish that it could go away. Just really apologize. Come to them and show your
fix it, right?
Yeah, go fix it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the broader point here is also thanks for sharing that story, Madison. The broader point here is that everything matters, and something might not matter to one person, but it might be a big deal to another. So it's important to be aware of those sensitivities, and also everybody's human and makes mistakes. So if we make them, fix them, right? And then everybody can move on, but don't live inside that mistake. Move off of it, and go forward, fix it, move forward, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. I think that's really the point, because we all do
Mhm.
that, right? I think
Yeah,
that's an
yeah,
important
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Imada-san, we could keep going all day, but unfortunately we're out of time now. So I'd like to thank you for joining the program today. It's really been a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you very much, Preston. And it's,
Yep.
I
That's
have-
great. Good. And everybody, please join me next week. I'll announce the time early in the week, but you're going to get Brett talking to Brett next week.
Okay.
I've got a lot of things that I'd like to talk about on a live stream next week. So you're going to get me on the big screen, and I look forward to seeing you then, and I'll announce the details of that next week. So thanks very much, everybody. And really appreciate you tuning in to Minutes with Brett Live on the Packard Network.
Thank you.